Welcome to the Mizell Show.
An inspiration for a new generation.
Hi, I'm Alana Mizell, a loving mother of two, a devoted wife to Stephen, and an entrepreneur helping women realize their dreams and potential.
And I'm Stephen Mizell, caring father of two, a devoted husband to Alana, and a driving force to help young men prepare for life after college football.
And if that wasn't enough, we're a biracial couple.
She was raised in the North, but I was raised in the South.
The only thing normal about our lives, who am I kidding? It's never normal around here. Join us for the Mizell Show.
Right now.
We're back.
We're back on the Mizell Show.
You sound thrilled.
I am thrilled.
That was lame.
What am I supposed to do? You got to change up. You can't be the same every time.
Welcome to the Mizell. I have a drink that has one of my medicines in it, and I'm terrified to take.
You always have a beverage. Always have a
Always have a
beverage.
beverage. All right.
With a show, it's not a show without a beverage with Alana. She always has a show. Always does a show with the beverage.
Oh man, I don't know that we're gonna drink. We're gonna have to power through.
You're gonna have to
here
drink
in a
it
minute.
though. Like you
I know.
put good money into that drink.
I know.
So it has to happen.
I feel like we got to do a little bit of a medical update then. So no.
I mean, if you want to, it depends on how vulnerable you want to be with your.
Just a quick little one. So, if you don't know a ton of stuff, we've been working on figuring out what's going on with me for almost 2.5 years. I currently go to Solutions Medical in Germantown, and one of the supplements that I need to take is a powder form, and it's currently in my tea, kind of mixy together. I thought it'd be great. It was a good idea in my head. Not so much.
You gotta drink it though.
I'm gonna drink it.
Yeah, gonna make it happen.
You are not my vibe today. Do I
You
need to
know
do
my
this
vibe.
by myself?
You can do your podcast by yourself.
Our podcast by
Then it
myself?
would be the Mizell Show.
It would be my
You know
show.
what? We should do a show in which we host by ourselves and see how long we can carry it. Like this
I'ma
Mizell
see-
show with just Steven.
Oh my gosh. Let's take another
or
sip.
Steven interviews someone with no Alana and to see our click-through rate.
Watch the ratings be higher for me.
I doubt it.
Challenge accepted.
No, people listen because of me, not you. Do people tune in for you or me?
What's the gamble?
I think they tune in for me. Or you.
I wish y'all could see my face right now.
And she's wearing a blue shirt, so her blue eyes are very piercing right now.
I could.
Please comment below.
Anyway.
Did you tune in for Steven or
I
Alana? Or is it like,
can't.
I can't even listen to it without both of you guys?
I can't even listen to both of you guys.
Okay, so what are you listening to right now?
What am I listening to right now? Ooh, okay, wait. There's this new song that
Squirrel.
I really like.
Oh my gosh.
Why you have to be so negative today?
What'd you think
Is
I was
anybody
saying?
Catching,
Were you going to say, like,
I thought
I'm
you were
listening to the
talking-
Mizell Show? You paused like you were going to say, like, what do you mean when I'm listening
I
to the
thought you were
podcast?
talking about like an audiobook, and I was like, I don't really
audiobooks.
do that a
No,
whole
you don't.
lot.
Not at
So
all.
no.
No.
Okay, Belong Together by Mark Ambor,
Is
Ambor.
this on a random playlist that you found? Because you do a really good job of, like, listening to Apple's playlist and, like, get some good stuff.
Oh, you can do like, you can say her name. Play me happy music.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll get some good jams. Anyway, or whatever. You want sad. Steven says.
But you can't say that because what if someone
That's
listeners
why I
have
didn't-
Androids? They can't say Siri on Android.
Well, I don't know what they say.
See, that's why people listen to me because I think about Android users out there. You just think about Apple.
It's going to be a long episode. It's going to be a long episode and a longer night for you, buddy.
Awesome.
Ugh.
Awesome. Ugh. So what are you reading? You just finished Colleen Hoover, right?
I just finished Colleen Hoover, Heartbones.
Okay, so walk me through your reading.
Wrecked me.
When you have your Colleen Hoover. I feel like she's
I
like
got
more
my
of your
Colleen Hoover.
serious good, but then you have the girls who have like the more cartoonish covers. What are their names again?
You're talking about Tessa Bailey
Tessa Bailey, like
and Hannah Grace.
yeah, they're not the same level as
And
Colleen.
Emily
No,
Henry.
Colleen's a different level.
You mean like in terms of like people knowing who they are?
No, just like the writing. I feel like it's Jodie and Colleen versus
Jodie
Tessa Peacock.
Peacock? Jodie Peacock is a totally different genre.
Okay, then
So
Colleen.
she's not rom-com at all.
Ooh. But Colleen dips in rom-com?
Colleen is rom-com.
Okay, but she's a different rom-com.
But she's not
than
spicy
Tessa.
rom-com.
Not like
Tessa Bailey is passe.
Okay. So you have like three different levels.
It might be a cartoon cover, but there ain't nothing cartooning about it.
Well, no, I see the books
Okay.
that you read. I'm like, Colleen seems a little bit different, like a little bit more grown and more official than Tessa. But then Tessa's, like you said, she's spicy sometimes.
Well, so Colleen Hoover as an author is older than Tessa Bailey.
Very
So I
true.
think that like that kind of goes with the season. Now, Jodi Picoult is more like, I'm going to push the envelope on topics.
Ooh, okay.
So she has one that's about an abortion clinic being bombed and shut down. She has one about a school shooting. She has one about COVID.
Oh.
So she takes these topics that are challenging and then twists them so that people can see both sides of it. Like Small Great Things is one of my favorite books ever.
Yeah.
Arguably my favorite book ever.
Okay.
And it's by Jodi Picoult because she shows, it's about a white supremacist and a black nurse. And the black...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yes.
But it shows both sides of the situation so that you have a heart and compassion for the whole human on either side, no matter how much I disagree with white supremacy.
No, I think that's beautiful.
It's just... She
It's
does a
different- it's
beautiful
different
job
levels of it.
of kind of opening up how we should... How I think we should approach other people. And
Okay.
almost assume that somebody... When you're talking about white supremacy, more times than not, it's a learned behavior. Well, not more times. It is a learned behavior.
Yeah.
But also, something has happened to make them think and feel that way.
And the book
It
really
didn't
pushes
just... Yeah. So,
That's awesome. Okay.
so all very different genres. So
you
I
just-
think
what'd you
since
just
the last
finish?
one, I finished Heart Bones by Colleen Hoover.
Okay.
Which
Nice.
was gut-wrenching.
Yes. Okay.
Beautiful. Of course, extremely well written. I try to pace myself on hers because I could sit down and read the whole thing in a day.
Yeah.
I mean, with most of the ones that I've read recently. Another great one was One Italian Summer. I was so surprised that I liked it as much as I did. Fun story, I had actually started it. Read the first couple of chapters when I re-rented it.
Yeah.
I just hadn't finished it for some reason.
Speaking of that, shouts out to the Memphis Public Library. Alana is like always able to find her books. Great front desk people. Now, a lot of times we buy some of your books, but when some of the books you get, you're able to get them from there. And
The majority of our books we do Memphis Public Library, yeah.
Shout out to
And
them.
I'll sit and wait. Like I waited for Happy Place by Emily
Yep.
Henry for, it'll be a year in April that it came out. Why I waited, I have no idea. I had bought other books,
yeah.
since then.
Just need different books.
It was just, I
wait.
was like putting my foot down. I'm not buying
Was it
this
worth the
one.
wait?
Yeah, and I'm like, I should have bought it.
Oh, so it was worth the wait. Okay.
Because it was good.
Yeah.
And not that I would reread it, but it'd just be good to have in the library.
Yeah.
I have all of her other books. Why did I not buy that one?
I don't know. But yeah, so that's
got
what
no
Alana's reading. As we know, I don't read. I have finished.
You do too. You
I do
read
read-
articles.
I
You
read
should
articles.
books.
I don't read books, but I also listen to podcasts. Besides the Mizell show.
You don't really listen back to our episode other than when you edit it, do you?
Sometimes, if I get bored and I feel lonely, I listen to.
No, you
Alana's
do not.
I do. I like to listen to what you say to me sometimes. Because like, oh, I remember that episode where she was so nice
Because
to
I'm
me.
so insightful.
You are pretty insightful.
Right, they listen for me.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Here we go with this nonsense. But no,
People just growled because
Wandery. I listened to Wandery, American Scandal, phenomenal stories.
Ooh.
Just recently went on a trip for work and I got a chance to go through
Casual.
4 different
He
podcasts.
just drops. I just went on a trip for work.
But the season,
I went on
got
a trip
chance.
to Switzerland for
Well,
work.
I wasn't going to say all that.
I'm
But
just saying that's cool.
it was cool. It's a whole nother ball game to talk about.
Well, I don't think that people think about corporate America and global companies and then go, oh, I could go to Switzerland.
Yeah, very true. So what does Switzerland?
Like if you're with football, you're not going to Switzerland.
Nope, you're definitely not leaving the country. You're definitely not.
You're barely leaving the football.
You live in the football coverage of America, yeah. But listen to some really good ones. One was on
Well, I
the.
guess Florida State's leaving the country this year.
They are going to Ireland. They're going to Ireland.
So is Notre Dame, but
Yes.
right? Isn't that
Notre
who they're
Dame went
playing?
last year. I don't know who Florida State's playing over there. Maybe they are playing Notre Dame. I don't know. But yeah, so listen to podcasts, listen to Wandery. And last thing we kind of talk about, kicking the show off, is our shows. We didn't talk about this last time, but we finished the American Dynasty of the Kennedys.
Ugh.
It was...
We didn't talk about that last time?
No.
Okay. You guys, I've told so many people about it. I can't remember what I said on the podcast and what I didn't. Like, that's how many times I've talked about it.
We have talked about it.
I had a work trip in Orlando, and I told everybody about it. And they probably think I'm cuckoo.
Shouts out to HBO Max.
Insane.
You want to just plug us on your...
How many, it's like a lot of episodes.
It's 6 episodes.
And what's so funny, so I'm from New England. A lot of my family lives in Massachusetts. And so I knew a lot about the Kennedys.
Yeah.
Especially because we're Irish-Italian, grew up Roman Catholic. So I knew a lot. And through the first couple episodes, Stephen would be like, did you know that? Did you know that?
I learned a lot about the Kennedys, and that's one thing.
I did too, but it's just.
But you knew a lot. But it was a phenomenal docu-series, 6 episodes. But it's really, really good. It gives us a whole breakdown of just the ups and downs and the tragedies. And when you think of one family that, like, you had the whole saying of, like, sometimes you sell your soul for money, or you do something that you know the lineage might actually feel from. When you watch this documentary, it's like, man, what did the...
Karma hit that family hard.
Dude, hard.
And, I just want to know at the root, what did John do?
Yeah.
John is JFK's father.
Yeah.
And then RFK's wife, Esther. Right?
Esther.
There's an entire... That's not right.
RFK, Robert, his son. JFK's brother is Robert.
RFK, right.
Yeah, his wife, Esther. Yeah.
Esther, okay. There was another whole docuseries on her and on their family.
Esther was a sleeping giant.
But she wasn't.
But I didn't know about Esther like that. Like, Esther was was heavy. Like,
she slayed.
She actually is more impactful than Jackie.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, but you hear a lot about Jackie. You don't hear about Esther.
Yes and no, different circles. You also have to think JFK was president and Jackie was the first lady. If RFK had become president, would Esther have been...
Yeah, she got a shot.
But also, she wasn't opulent like Jackie was.
Oh,
Jackie was wearing Versace. She was wearing Chanel. She was in the Fashion Mogul. She was an editor. Like, she was a different person.
Yeah.
She still was raising money and doing philanthropic efforts. People don't actually think and read into that.
Yeah.
Whereas Esther chose to spend the majority of her time doing philanthropic efforts, taking the kids... her 11 children everywhere, making sure that they were in politics, and then they continued it on after.
Yeah.
And what was so beautiful to me was seeing her devotion to RFK still to this day.
Yeah.
There were questions she would not answer, just because she would get emotional.
Yes. And it
was so sweet.
And it kind of goes into... our topic, what we've been thinking about recently, because with Esther, there's so many different ways she could have written her story, and so many ways that people probably thought she would have, but she didn't.
And I mean, to that, we've talked a little bit about some other people, like Alexander Hamilton's wife.
Yep.
Everything she did. So she created the first orphanage in New York.
Yeah.
And she is buried next to him. There's this gigantic tombstone for him and a small little one for her, and she lived on for so many more years and made sure that his name meant something.
Yeah. And that's what we talked about.
We have talked about this.
It is phenomenal.
I checked on Stephen one day. I was like, no, think about this. Think about this.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the men who die in either a tragic way or a famous person who dies in some way or another, it is the female that helps their name live on.
Yeah, and this all started when I was talking to her about, I still like shoes. We check out other episodes. We're talking about Vanessa Bryant and how she ended the deal with Nike, like putting her foot down for her husband's legacy, and then came back, and she's continuing to, like...
Who was Kobe Bryant's wife?
Kobe Bryant's wife, Kobe Bryant's wife. But this kind of spawned the conversation.
But also the same woman that stuck around when there was a public display of him cheating on her.
Yep, so true. Yeah.
She hung tough.
Yeah.
And he would not be... I mean, he was a phenomenal basketball player, but he made more of an impact after he finished basketball than he ever did on the court.
And he's continuing to do it through her legacy.
Because she decided he was going to.
Yes.
Same with MLK.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're
his
right.
wife and daughter have made sure that his legacy lives on. Not that he's not fantastic.
Yeah.
But the National Civil Rights Museum and Lorraine Hotel doesn't happen without them. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Elvis. Elvis's music is beautiful, but the Presley Enterprise made him what he is today.
Yeah. No,
we would have forgotten about him.
You're right.
Nobody is trying to make Michael Jackson live on. Nobody is.
I mean, his Michael Jackson continues to live on solely based on his music, in which these other people were able to.
Everything that he achieved.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah.
Like, how is his estate not turned into an amusement park?
I mean, yeah,
because nobody's taking care of it. I mean, I understand that he also has underlying scandal that is like, you can't even fathom it. But at the same time, no PR person tied to him rewrote that narrative so that
but a lot
his
of times
legacy
the
could
PR
live on.
person was the spouse.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that person next to him.
Right. Priscilla made Elvis not look so bad. And the reality is he died overdosing on the can. Like, he was literally going to the bathroom. Died.
That was it?
Look it up.
No.
Bet.
In the movie, it didn't happen like that. He was in the hallway of the hospital. That was not how it really happened?
I mean, we can look it up. Maybe I am so fine with being wrong. People don't freak out if I'm wrong. But that's my understanding.
Well, I mean, that's a Google thing for another day.
We'll Google that for another day. But what's so interesting is there's this book called You Matter.
Yeah.
It's a very short, it's like a poem series. You can get it on Amazon for, I think, like $10. Very inexpensive. And so, I can't remember, Natalie Borton actually read it and posted about it. She's somebody that I've followed for a long time. I love her philosophy. If you've listened to us for a while, she's somebody that I really like. She's out of Southern California. Anyway, she posted about it. So, I got it off of Amazon, and it's different poems, narratives, little notes, really digging into kind of different aspects of people. And so what I did is throughout the book, I kind of turned it into my journal as whatever was written becoming a journal prompt for me.
Yeah.
And it came up on my time hop, and I realized I should probably get back to that and kind of do it again.
Yeah, you could.
I went all the way through once.
Mm-hmm.
But, things hit you differently at different times in your life.
Very true.
So, should I read the whole thing or just the goal part?
I mean, I don't know. What do you want to read? Go for it.
Healing and wellness and motivation is huge for the Mizell Show. And recently we had New Day Healing and Wellness on the podcast. We are super, super excited to be able to offer you guys a discount code under the name Mizell. If you hop into New Day Healing and Wellness, you can go to Red Light, you can go to the sauna, you can do the salt booth. They have so many different things to offer, and we're just so excited for you guys to be able to experience some wellness of your own. It's okay to be unsure of who you are and what you're doing. The world might be telling you that you must have all the answers to find your meaning in this life. But know this, you don't have to know it all to find your value on this earth. You are here because you are needed, because you are loved. It's okay if you are slow in your progress, if you aren't growing the way others are. Your life has its own timing. It has its own pace of growing. It doesn't have to match what others will be. It doesn't have to match with others to be worthy, to be happy. Goal. Take your own path, pace, and time to grow. Don't rush your progress or change yourself to end up becoming someone else. No one else in the world can do what you do just by being you. Your authenticity is your superpower, the gateway to your happiness and fulfillment.
Thanks, Tom Hop.
Thank you, Tom Hop, and You Matter book.
Yes.
I just thought that was so good because both Steve and I are in a season of where we used to work in education, then we had a total career change, and we're both in corporate America. Mm-hmm. And so there's, whether we want to do it or not, there's this level of comparison of, if I had just started in corporate America, where would we be now?
Yeah.
Maybe not exactly the same way, but a narrative of I've got to catch up for the years that I wasn't in traditional corporate America.
Yeah.
And everybody has a different story, and I think that this whole thing about pacing yourself and figuring out who you are and not changing yourself is so critical. And it actually reminded me of a story. So after my freshman year, I came to the University of Memphis from New Hampshire, for those that don't know. And after my freshman year, I went back home, and the South is very different from the North. I don't know if people know that.
Mm-hmm.
And in that first year, I had found Jesus, and so it was a very deep pendulum swing towards on the verge of a staunch Christian, of like nose up,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit pompous. And I just remember being in the car, and my friends from home that I had known since I was like in kindergarten, who I'm going to go see in a month or so, saying, how have you changed so much in less than a year? And back then, I was like, they see it. They see how much I love Jesus. And then, you know, a couple months later, I realized that's not what they were saying.
Yeah.
They weren't saying that I'm showing them Jesus. I'm now showing them the opposite. Like, that's not who Jesus is, and that's not who I am.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of reminded me, and reminds me constantly to just figure out, who am I at my core?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, things are going to change. How I see the world is going to change. It's going to become more colorful. I'm going to go through more ups and downs. But I think at your truest self, I don't think that changes.
Yeah. No, I think so, and I think you're able to see that, because I think, you know, everybody went through, people that went away or went to college. You have those experiences in which you meet different people and you experience different things, and that conversation with you and your friends is one of those things where you did get away and you did experience something totally different, and that's going to change you, but not change you. You know, because you've seen things and felt things that they have never done. You know, and so when they say that comment, it's just like, you know, you appreciate it, but you also kind of feel like, yeah, I am able to now see myself in a different light.
Right, but I think, so how they were meaning it was more towards, is this really you? Like, hey, check in with yourself. Like, is this who you are? You know, and I think for me, I've always, even when I was little, I've always been overly compassionate. Mm-hmm. Always asked far too many questions and end up learning way too much about other people that I don't necessarily need to. Always have been like that. But that, what?
Just keep, I mean, as you say that.
But that was dialed down into more of a look at me and look at where I've gone. Which is that's not me at my core.
Yeah.
Now, my ability to articulate to more people, my ability to lead, my ability to adapt, yes. But like, when you break it all down, my fundamental building blocks of who I am is not showy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, yeah.
What was the face?
Oh, the face was that, you know, Adele. That's so Adele right now.
My child? Adele?
Yes, your child. Like, the fact of, like, what you just said, overly compassionate, inquisitive, and knowing how to be able to, like, impact people, and to the extent that's what we see in her right now. And I knew that was in you, and it's a little bit in me, but, like, as she continues, Adele's 8 now, and she continues to grow, I see that more and more in you and her. I'm like, that's where she gets that from.
But when I was little, it got squashed. And so I don't think it really started to come out. I had to defend myself constantly. And there are some key times that really changed how I was as I would say between 4th grade and sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
So my junior and senior year, I really started to come into my own and care a little bit less about what other people thought, and kind of started to get more into like the compassionate side of myself.
Yeah.
And like, you got to figure out who you are, you know? And of course, like, your prefrontal cortex isn't totally developed till you're 25. So like, do we even know? And there was even a time
for guys, it's like 35.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, when they die.
No.
Jeez. When they hit the old folks home, that's when they catch one. Straight along, right with chlamydia. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. this chick.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. That was a good one. That
funny.
was like, zing, yeah.
Anyway, there was a time at a friend's wedding that I was with the same group of girls again. And I was trying to fall asleep. And I overheard them saying, don't wake Alana up because she'll be so angry. And what's interesting is they've known me since I was little. Like kindergarten.
Yeah.
So the majority of my life when I was defensive and a little bit angry and a little bit like, I'm here too.
Yeah.
Because of how I was raised, that's how they see it a lot of the time. But like, I think if you were to call them and ask them, they would be like, no, that's not how she is. But in times of frustration, that's what they saw.
Yeah.
You know? And so I took the opportunity I was in a bunk bed, to come down from that bunk bed and be like, hey, you know, I heard what you said. I'm still awake, and that really hurt my feelings. I hope you don't see me that way.
Yeah.
And it was deer in headlights for her. And it was like, what do I do? And I was like, I'm not mad at you. I'm asking, is that how you see me?
Yeah.
Because if it is, then I need to change my narrative because that's not how I want to be seen.
Yeah.
And so even since then, it's been this really big effort to make sure that I'm not coming off as a bull in a china shop or as a my way or the highway kind of person, especially to those that I love and care about, that they're able to see my core foundational building blocks.
Yeah. And that's important. And you being able to share that, I think it's huge. I do remember those conversations, and I do remember.
I called you.
You did call me.
Crying.
Yes, and
I said I'm never going to see them again.
You did say that.
I hate these people.
I don't know if you went that far, but you were very frustrated. But I think it's one of those moments where sometimes
No, I didn't say.
As you grow and you progress, and you have people that you've known your entire life. That's something that I don't have that, just based on, I think, the circle of people that have come and gone. But like, you have people that you've been connected with since you were in the second grade. You still talk to them.
I've literally known Sarah since I was in kindergarten.
Exactly. So
no, first grade.
First grade. Like, and so you've seen these people have seen you through all walks of your life, even to this woman that you are now as a wife and a mother, and someone that continues to make strides of working on herself. And to hear those comments years ago, it just shows you how far, how disconnected some people can be when you're in a different stage of your life, because they still kind of reflect. But
also how disconnected I was from myself at one point.
That's true
because
too. Yeah.
just like the passage was talking about, I don't know what else to call it, the memo, the poem, whatever.
The book, yeah.
The goal was talking about, was saying, do not rush your progress or change yourself to end up becoming someone else. And there was a large section of my life that I was changing myself for protection of my own soul because I was a child and I had to do that. But at the same time, I was changing myself for somebody else.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I also think that, I mean, what a blessing that I've known them for as long as I have.
Yeah.
And that even through things like that, you know, we still talk all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I think one of the biggest things that I would say is that I have friends that can say to me, is that really who you are? Like, who are you? You know? And there were plenty of other times as they were growing that there was one time that there were some phrases said, and I was like, you literally can't say that.
Yeah.
And I had to get up and I left and I went home.
Yeah.
Because I was uncomfortable. And I was like, I don't know how to manage this situation without flipping out. So I really do have to leave this scenario right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that that's who she was at the core.
Yeah.
Her foundational building blocks, because I've known her so long. And, you know, later on I was like, that's not who you are. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And it's good to have that kind of circle and that group of friends that you're able to do that. I think, you know, I think it was one of your shows, Station 19. It was an episode in which you were
so good.
wrecked, in which the girl was going through a psychological breakdown, and she was talking to her older self,
younger self,
younger self.
Yeah.
And it was just so the imagery was so beautiful. And I think about that now with you, like being able to go back and have that conversation. And I can paint the picture of the six of you being able to look at your younger six and just talk through where you guys have gone and where you guys have been through.
I can't.
And it's just, and I hope that you guys experience this, when you guys go on your girl trip. But I do feel that it's something that, you can't rush that person. And you have to also be able to know that, you say that person that you're fighting for or trying to hold fast against, it's okay to take it slow. It's okay to have those tough conversations because it's not easy. Yeah. And a lot of people, like right now in our circle that we're going through, unfortunately, we're dealing with sadness. We're dealing with death, with friends. We're dealing with divorce. And we want those people listening and in that circle that know that, A, of all, you're not alone. B, of all, it's okay to have those conversations with those friends close to you to say, hey, is that you?
Right. Is this what's best for you?
Is this what's best for you? And it's okay to take it slow,
And there are, I understand that the fact that there's 8 of us total.
Yeah.
There are a group of us that our marketing teacher called us the 6. But there's 8 of us total. Mm-hmm. I am very blessed to have 8 friends that can call me out and me still show up for them.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. And that's something
that's very rare.
Very rare.
I totally understand that. But I do believe that everybody should have at least one person that when it's hitting the fan or when you're having a terrible day, they can listen to you have the terrible day. You know what? Brene Brown talks about this in The Power of Vulnerability. Because you've got to get to where you're vulnerable enough with somebody that they can call you on their worst day. You can empathize with them. And you can say, what do you need from me right now?
Yeah.
And then the next day or a few days later be like, I don't think that was you.
Yeah.
I think we missed on that one. How can I help you get back to your true self?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the thing about it is, I think also you have to be okay with, like, a lot of my friend group is pushing the 35, 40, age range, and you're hitting the same. Like, it's okay if you hadn't hit your stride yet. It's okay that you might not be exactly where you want to be. It's okay right now to make that pivot. If you feel like you're going through this direction for a bad significant other, you're going this direction for a bad career choice, it's okay to have that pivot and to reach out to those people and say, you know what? This is not the best of me, and I need to do that.
And so the poem literally said, it's okay if you are slow in your progress. If you aren't growing the way others are. Your life has its own timing. I just think that's so critical.
It is so critical. And so many people, and especially Alana's adapted to this, and, I have lived this a lot longer than her. You live in this sometimes fairy tale Southern American dream in which these are all the things that are supposed to be happening.
Right. Like, you go to college, you find your husband, you get married,
you
which
get
happens
kids.
to be my story, but that's besides the point.
But, you're not supposed to have miscarriages. You're not supposed to deal with infertility. You're not supposed to deal with divorce.
That doesn't happen in real world. It doesn't happen.
Like, if you are dealing with that, if you are 38 and you're a male and you're single, it's okay if you're a female. Like, it is, the thing about
There's
it is,
nothing
it's
wrong
nothing
with
wrong
you
with
in
it.
that. I think just because you're going slower doesn't mean that your value or your worth changes. And I think that's what the whole thing was talking about. In that also doesn't mean change yourself so that you get what you want.
Yes. Because
you will end up unhappy.
You're unhappy. And that's something that I will say in this podcast on, we went to a date night the other night. And it was a good night. We went to Good Fortune downtown Memphis, had some noodles. It was awesome. We ran to one of my really good friends. We call him Big Sam.
I was going to say, Sam would call you out.
Sam would call me out. But Sam owns his own company. And on paper, if you see Sam, his age, where he is, maybe, I don't know, Sam's dating life single, you might think, what is he doing? What's going on?
We don't know his life. I'm not about to ask
I can't call it out.
I'm not about to ask it.
Sam is happy. Sam is enjoying where he is in his life. Yes, he's striving for more. He's trying to do what fit.
And here's the thing about Sam is that you can see over time. I've known him now for 13 years.
Yeah.
You can see over time, he would always have a smile on his face, but you could see before that he wasn't at his core happy in his authentic self. Right now, he just turned 40.
Yes.
He is his most authentic self.
Yeah.
He is genuinely so freaking proud of himself.
Yeah.
As am I,
in a
but
good,
like
beautiful way.
Not in a pompous, like,
yeah.
more like, look at what I pulled myself out of.
Yeah.
Look at where I am.
Yes.
And he was even telling us about a trip that he's going on with his family. And we know good and well he's paying for it for his family.
Yeah.
Did he say that once? No. But he is so stinking excited to take his family on that.
His family. It's something that he's worked for and strived for. So all that to say, you know, we shared with you today a lot of great points, but just find that core person. And if you're going slow or you're not there yet, it's okay. But like Alana and her 6/8, I don't know how many is y'all? Like,
There's 8 of us
it's
total.
8 of you total. You know, find those people that can call you out, but also continue to build you up, and just embrace it. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
And that's why people listen to me and not you, Alana. No, we appreciate you.
I'm pretty sure I brought the book.
You brought the book and you brought the
And
heat.
I'm the one that read it.
You read the book. You brought the heat this episode. I couldn't even chime in. I was like, dang, this is Alana's show tonight.
No, it's not.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Mizell Show.
So if you guys are enjoying this, definitely leave us a review. Give us the feedback. If there's something you guys want us to talk about, reach out to us on our website at themizellshow.com. There is a contact section. You can put it in there. We would love to hear about it. Or you can always go over to Instagram at The Mizell Show. Also, as always, don't forget to screenshot this episode and just add it to your stories and tag us on Instagram, on Facebook at The Mizell Show. Thanks, guys. Are you loving The Mizell Show? Well, we love you all. And did you know that you can have me and Steven talk to your team or a group of 25 of your friends? All it takes is 25 people showing up on either a Zoom call, a Facebook Live, or really anywhere. Hopefully in person sooner rather than later. But how do you get us? So all you have to do is email themizellshow@gmail.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram at The Mizell Show.